Hey, good Monday morning, guys, and thanks for checking out your latest long-range forecast update. Michael Clark here with BAM Weather with your latest outlook. We're going to talk about kind of the short-term, where we've been dry and where we really, think we're going to get pretty active in terms of rainfall, at least over the next couple of weeks. Some colder risks to the forecast and some of the data really kind of rolling forward, wetter and colder into the next couple of weeks than what we had anticipated last week. So look at this, make some adjustments, and kind of go forward here. I'm going to back this out and kind of show you radar this morning here from Clarity. It's pretty interesting. We have snow falling across the Great Lakes, the Midwest, and it's sticking in spots. And March 18th, that's not totally out of the normal to see snow sticking and cold temperatures producing snow across the area. So it's certainly cold. You can look at the temperatures this morning here. Click around on the map, and you're below freezing, even in the teens, single digits across the Central Plains. So strong cold front came through and certainly has brought the colder air, even all the way down into Tampa this morning, 75 degrees in a spread of 11. So in March, that's not, again, totally abnormal. We look at precipitation here over the last 30 days, and again, you can see where it's rained and where it hasn't. I kind of want to focus on that here for just a moment, because you can see a lot of the areas here across Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Nebraska. There hasn't been a whole lot of precipitation, a whole lot of rain. In fact, the percent of normal shows that an extraordinarily huge departure from the normal precip, kind of in that northwestern third of the Corn Belt. It's been wetter east. But overall, the last 30 days, it has been really dry. And we look at the soil moisture percentile map, and gosh, I tell you, this is it just kind of really goes to show just how dry we really are in some spots here. Now, we had a lot of rain here over the last couple of days. That's helped, it's helped replenish some of the moisture. But really in this area here, I'm looking at some big rains coming that I think are really going to help across this area here. All right, and so I want to talk to you about that. But again, this is very, very dry for the heart of the ag belt as of March 18th. There's the drought monitor, still in a D3 extreme drought status. Most of all the state of Iowa in a drought, along with Minnesota. Most of the most corn in the country and crop here is northern Iowa, southern Minnesota, and still to be in a moderate drought at this time. That's nothing to bat an eye at. The last 4 weeks, we've seen that drought class change continue to, get drier. This is the 4-week change, and we've continued to see just degradation and degradation, if you will, in the drought. I always have a hard time with that word, so you can make fun of me if you want with that word. We'll call it the class change. How about that? But regardless, you can see it's just gotten drier over the last 4 weeks. So let's target precipitation and rain chances, at least in the forecast right now. Look at the European. See the cold front coming through. We've got the Great Lakes, the snow, and the rain up in the north and east. Kind of a mixture, a nasty system there Wednesday into Thursday. Next chance of rain comes across the deep south with a little bit of a disorganized split flow system Thursday into Friday. So for a lot of you that may be traveling for spring break down south and east, you're probably going to run into some weather along the way. If you're coming from the Midwest down to the southeast, there's a decent storm system that will impact the area Thursday into Friday, and especially Friday into Saturday for the southeast. All right, that system will move out into the weekend, but behind it, the next big storm will start kind of materializing in the Midwest as early as Sunday morning. In fact, this is a look here at the 24th of March, Sunday morning. And you can see snow breaking out across the northern plains, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Heavy rain underneath here across Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri. A much welcomed rain. This is a needed rain. And then the storm system kind of wraps up. The secondary part of the storm, a strong area of low pressure develops right over Iowa. This is the European run valid last night, but this is out to day 8. So, this is probably going to change and adjust a little bit. But this big storm has been on the charts now for several days. So it's not really out of the question that we're going to probably see a big storm. And severe weather out ahead of it. possibly a tornado outbreak, severe weather outbreak across the deep south into early next week. The 26th, 27th, 28th, probably a big storm, even a potential blizzard on the northwest side of this as this low wraps around next week. So really want to keep an eye on a big storm in the charts here next week. I took precip out to just the next 7 days. It's soaked across Florida and up the East Coast. With the potential there for 2 inches or more of rainfall. And then the area, I tell you, that really, really needs it, and it's kind of the epicenter of where the rain's forecasted right now the next 7 days. This is a welcomed rain, inch to locally 2 inches of rainfall here across Iowa, southern Minnesota, western portions of Wisconsin. Drier here, but not really needed rain for the time being. We just had some over the weekend. And then snowfall. We look at snowfall over the course of the next 10 days. And the blended model solution is the best idea right now, in my opinion. But there is a potential on the backside that we kind of bring this down potentially a little bit. And we're looking at a big storm here next week. And then potentially out ahead of that, down through here, I want to title this, we'll put T for tornadoes. How about that? And we'll put S here for snow. I'm worried about this area across the deep south for a potential major severe weather outbreak or potential tornado outbreak next week, and a snowstorm or even a blizzard across the Midwest. So we'll monitor that. My highest confidence at above normal rainfall the next 2 weeks comes right out of the Midwest where it's most needed. When I look at all the ensembles, all the weather models, the analogs, I like Minneapolis down to Des Moines, Davenport, Milwaukee, over towards central Wisconsin. That's the epicenter of the highest confidence of above normal rainfall the next 2 weeks. And then outside of that, there's still going to be rain. In fact, this is all needed rain. This isn't anything bad. This is good for the soil moisture content, and I think we need it. The forecast ahead beyond that period is going to be driven a lot by the MJO. In fact, there was a map I wanted to share with you that I forgot to slide over. And I don't know what I did with it here. Let's see if I have it real quick on my screen. Gosh, I don't have it. I was going to show you week 1 and week 2 data from the models. Oh, here we go. Here it is right here. Let's slide it on over. Look at me being all disorganized. Here's the thing. It's a little bit drier here this week. The wetter conditions, week 1, are coming right here across the North Plains. A lot of indications of a wetter week 2 with a bigger storm system. That's that big storm, really, that's going to bring precip for a lot of the area. Warmth out ahead of it. See the warmth out ahead east? The cold will come in behind it. The next 2 weeks are looking cooler than average for sure. All that MJO driven. So what's week 3 and 4 beyond this look like? Well, there's your active start to April. We don't see any reason to disagree with that. Week 4 may get drier, though, as that big storm moves out. And then we look at temperatures. And overall, we think right now there's a risk that the first half of April is cooler and the second half can get warmer. The latest CFS forecast for the month of temperatures here wise shows that it looks a lot like our outlook. The warmth up to the north, average, possibly cooler across the deep south or southwest or southeast based on storm system risks here. Now, real quick. Precipitation, it's interesting to see the drier trends here as of late, especially east. We did kind of mention in our spring outlook, our spring webinar, if you remember, that as we progress into spring, it could become drier east and become less active. That CFS is kind of hinting at that. That's a potential. So, last couple slides. What does the pattern look like through the first 10 to 15 days of the month? Well, right now we think that it's going to be cooler to colder than average, okay? Warmer up to the north and east, all right? And then we go to the pattern for precipitation. The first 2 weeks of April probably going to be wet here with some big storm systems, potentially some severe weather outbreaks, and maybe even a couple tornado outbreaks. Again, I'm kind of watching this area for that to be at a higher than normal risk for severe weather and wet. The deeper we get into April, it's possible it gets drier east, wetter west, and it warms up a little bit. So that's kind of the thought process to the overall forecast now, at least through the first 2 weeks of April. If you've got questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.